Okay, so we'll continue with the data set for the US voters today, and we'll see if we can get into that of San Francisco salaries. Okay. Yeah, we did a couple of things last week, and yeah, I think I failed to save it, sadly. Um, but yeah, it's on video, it's on recording, so we could always refer to that. Remember how it was? It was all hands on deck. So we'll just continue from that. We have some problems to solve. We still have some problems to solve. As of as of last week, we solved problems like how many states. I just put the questions we solved last week. I just put them here. Let's see how. Oops. Wrap text. Wow. It's this guy like this. Okay, forgive me. Do we have any other questions before we start? I think this is a repetition. Well, repetition too. Okay, there was a 2A, 2B, and 2C. Do we still remember how we got this fixed? I hope today's class is going to be as interactive as that of last Thursday. Hopefully better. Okay, so in the class last week we looked at how many how many states had a voters population below 55%, and which states were they. We looked at how many confirmed voters from California were over 65 years old in 2012. Yeah. Then we had what percentage of that represents what percentage does that represent out of the total confirmed voters in California? And then we did what percentage out of the confirmed voters in the entire country were this sect of 65 years and above. Okay, so this is done. I'll just put it in green. Yeah, and we would take on more questions and see how we can figure. So the next question is if wrap text. Okay, so there we go. Um, this. So we have remove states and show both citizen population and vote confirmed voters age by percentage of colon total. Hmm. Oh, okay. This is an easy one. I'm just seeing it right now. I'm just like getting it through. It's almost like a continuation of this. If we remember what we did last time and how we got to the percentage, what percentage of this 65% of people are confirmed voters in the entire country? Oh, or not really. So we're doing this. So here the task is remove states and show both citizen population and confirmed voters by age as percentage of colon total. B is what percentage of the citizens population do 45 to 64 years old represent, and what percentage of the confirmed voters population do these same people represent? I don't know. Is the question clear? Do we get it? Yeah, if you don't get it, just think through it and all that, and we can. If you don't get it, let me know. I'll see if I can further explain. But of course, we have our data sets and we have these exercises to do. The aim is to make sense out of data. You come across some data set, and as a data analyst, you should be able to answer questions. So the stakeholders give you a task. Oh, this is our data. We want to get these insights from it. And that is what we are doing. Yeah, so remove states and show both citizen population and confirmed voters by age as percentage of colon total. I think, then what percentage? Okay, so I think this is more like a Okay, an ABC question, but since we can't put pictures on our I mean in the meeting, I guess we'll just have to, I mean, get it done and go for. We can just give answers for B and C. So let's let's get digging. So I'll be looking forward to your answer. I think I'll just do A. We can try it out together, and then B and C, you give me your answers. So for this, I'll just create a pivot, insert pivot. Let me use existing sheet because I think I want to use this sheet here. So let's say there was states. Let's say there was states. Sure. Then citizen population, put in values, and confirmed voters. Confirmed voters, I'll put it. Oh, so they're saying by age. Okay, so remove states and put it by age. So this is what we're asked to do. Typically, I want commas in my data. So yeah, so the remove states show both citizen population and confirmed voters by age. So age, citizen population, confirmed voters population, and the task is show it as percentage of colon total. And here what we'll do, right click on each of them and show value as percentage of colon total. Show value as percentage of colon total. So percentage of colon total is just like, of course, this is a colon, this is a colon, this is the total for this colon, this is the total for this colon, right? So percentage of colon total would be what percentage of each of these ages is the colon total, percentage of colon total. Yeah, mob. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, sorry, it's supposed to be Femi. I didn't know I signed in with another email. Okay, is it not this percentage of column total? Is it not supposed to be? Is it okay? Is it the same thing as percentage of grand total? What's the difference?
Okay, good question. So it's not the same thing, and it's the same. It can be the same thing in some contexts, and in others, it's not the same thing. Um, but in this context, it would give it the same thing. So you have the colon, you have colon n, you have this colon here, and yeah, this is the total, right? This is the colon total. This is the colon total for this one, for this other So there are situations where the grand total could be a cumulative of different columns. So if you're doing a percentage of grand total, in that case, it may not be the same, it may not be the column total, right? So in this context, yeah, for this one actually, if you use percentage of grand total for it, for each of them, it's going to work, right? But yeah, the instruction was colon total, and thankfully we have that option there, so why not? I hope that helps. Okay, so we've seen the first task. Let's attempt the remaining two. So, waiting for your answers. I'm sure some of you have finished already. You're just waiting for me to ask. Okay, bring it on. So the next is what percentage of the citizen population does 45 to 64 years old represent? Like the answers are already like literally the from 3A you should be able to get answers for the rest of them. So I'm not sharing my pivot again. I want your answers. Yes, 6% chances. Okay, for which of them? 3B, 3C. Okay, so 3C. Okay, cool. Okay, so the question is for these guys, right? 45% and 45 to 60. So we have the answer glaring at us. Sum of citizen population 36% and sum of confirmed voters 39%. Rather, percentage, what is the question was the percentage, right? Yeah. So that was quite an easy one. I was hoping it would, I mean, the questions are typically supposed to go tougher. Well done, everybody. So let's look at other questions. Like there's still a lot, or still some. Sorry, I hope we all understand. We're all able to do this. We're all able to get this work on. It was quite an easy one. Yeah. So question number 4. Oh, there we go. Question number 4 says create a calculated field named voters turnout. And the formula you're going to use is confirmed voters over registered voters. Now, we want it formatted as percentage with 1 decimal point. Which states had the highest voter turnout rates? That would be 1A, that would be 4A rather. Okay, rather 4B. And what about amongst 18 to 24-year-old voters specifically? What is the voter turnout rate? Okay, let's get to work. While I split the questions. But I'm sure the question is very clear. Where are my answers? Oh, and I really wish I could see your calculated fields calculations. But anyway, from the solutions, we would know. So, so create a calculated field named voter turnout. We have the formula there, confirmed voters divided by registered voters. We give it voters turnout. Format it as percentage with a 1 decimal place. Then I want answers for 4B and 4C. Which state had the highest turnout rates? And then what about the age range 18 to 24? What was the voter turnout rate in specifics? I mean, the answer should be popping in right now. Like if I like pop. As a matter of fact, I'm going to add question number 5 at once. Last question, which is quite interesting. Okay. Coley says California for 4B. Other entries. Let your entries come in, please. It's 62%. Tell me. If it is none, tell me. Hobby and 4C. Coley says California. Interesting. Okay. Oh, Colorado. Nice. More answers coming in like that. Okay, more answers. I'll just give 2 more minutes to get in answers. Oh, there's five too, so we'll do everything at once. So maybe 3 more minutes. I need more answers, people. Less than 2 more minutes. Keep the answers coming in. What is happening? Where is Mr. Chibueze? It's not on this call. Oh, he's not. Okay. Oh, there goes Cecilia. Cecilia, 87%. I don't think there was a percentage question in 4A. It was a calculated field. It was something you needed to do. But okay, I mean, who knows? We'll try it out and see if it works. Please read the questions well and let's attempt. Okay, so I think we've had some answers So let's. Oh, yeah, we have five. Five has come in. Maybe more attempts on five before we round up. I'll just wait a bit. Any other attempt on five? Okay, let's look at it together now. So just borrow this pivot again and put it here. Oh, let me just work with this. So, question number four says, create a new calculated field named voters turnout, right? Voters over this. So I'll just uh just take this off. Since we'll be working with it at probably oh whichever way, I'll just put here. So on my pivots, I'll go to calculated fields, pivot analyze, fields, items, and sets, calculated fields. And voters turnout, right? Call it voters turn turnout. Now we are told to say total voters turnout is what again? Total number of confirmed voters, right? Divided by registered voters and sets. I hope that's correct. So okay, let me see. Yeah, confirmed voters over registered voters. Yeah, I'm gonna take this. So this is my voters turnout. Yeah. So the question is okay in one decimal place. So they ask in one decimal place. I highlight and I do what did I just do? I do a I add one decimal place to it. So this was the first task. Put it in one decimal place, and there we go. This is it. Okay, I hope we all got this. Now the second question was which state had the highest, that's 4B, which state which state had the highest voters turnout rates? Highest voters turnout rates. So that's states. So we're going to put a state here, a state pivot here. And yeah, I'll just take away the age for now. And what do? We sort from the highest from the largest to the lowest. And there we have it. Colorado had the highest voter turnout with 94.7%. So that's our highest voter turnout. And that was the question, right? Which state had the highest voter turnout? Colorado. So who got oh, Colorado? We had Taiwo Isaac, Kenny Isaac, and Namdi Kimberly. Well done. I think those are the people that had that. Okay, but do we all understand how we got this? Any questions? Sorry, let me change this to states. So we did our calculated fields here. We for voter turnout for the states. We put the states in the row. Then we sorted from the largest to the smallest. Sort by largest to smallest, and then we got our Colorado. Okay, I hope that's clear. The next question was, what about amongst 18 to 24 years old voters specifically? Now, which state had the highest voter turnout? So what I'm going to simply do here is that I'm going to put the age in filter, and then I'd go and select just 18 to 24 years old and OK. And Wisconsin, my God, I need to live in the US so that I'll pronounce this state fluently. Yeah, so for the age range, for 4C, for the age range 18 to 24 years of voters, which state had the highest voter turnout? And that would be Wisconsin. It is well. Oh, it's actually Wisconsin and Colorado. But then when you see similar percentages like this, you may want to maybe add another column of percentage. You want to add another column to see the one that actually, sorry, another decimal place rather, to see the one that tops. And we see that, yeah, based on one decimal place, both of them catch up. But if you just want one answer, you you may just add more decimal places and get the exact value, which we have with Wisconsin. So if you give me Wisconsin or you give me Wisconsin and Colorado, I'm going to take it. Okay. Uh-uh. The the Isaacs are on fire tonight. Okay. Okay, please, can you come again with four? Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, just in that. Let me just take that again. So for a the what we are told to do is for a we're told to create a calculated field named voter turnout. And voter turnout is confirmed voters over registered voters, right? Formatted as a percentage with one decimal point. So this is the pivot. It's blank. I could put the pivot field directly. I'll go to pivot table, calculated field, and fields under pivot table analyze. I go to calculated field. I go to rather field item under calculations, fields, items, and sets. Calculated fields, and you have name and formula. We did calculated fields in the last class. So the name is voter turnout. And then for our calculation, for the formula, it's confirmed voters divided by registered voters as was specified in the instruction. So what I do, I click on confirmed voters, then division sign, then I click on registered voters, insert, and yeah, okay. So that gives me just this, and it's still 6.81%. Yes, so what? Okay, in one decimal place, this is two decimal places. I just change it to one decimal place. Now, which state had the highest voter turnout? Is I put the state in the column. I could have done this. I didn't need to, but I could have put the state initially. So you put the state in the row column. You have your voter turnout percentage here. Just put this as percentage, voter turnout percentage. Yeah, and sort. I sort the voters turnout from largest to the smallest, and then we see that the highest state with the highest percentage of voter turnout is Colorado. Yep. And the next question, so that's for 4B, and the next question is what about amongst 18 to 24 years old voters specifically? We just want to see the states with the highest voter turnout for the age range 18 to 24. So we just put the age range in filter and filter for only 18 to 24 years. Click on OK. So here we have filters for just the age range 18 to 24. And it's already sorted from largest to smallest. So we have Wisconsin as on the top of the list. And then we have Colorado. Here we can see that the percentages are the same. So that could fly. But in situations where you actually want the exact thing, right, to get the top, you could just increase the decimal places and all that, and you find out that Wisconsin actually tops the charts. But from the instruction, we're told to keep it in one decimal place, right? So you could just put the 2. I hope that helps. Okay. So typically, next question, question 5 says, as a politician seeking to improve voter turnout rates amongst young adults, which particular states would you target first? So you want to improve the 18 to 20 voter turnout rates. Which states would you consider? So who? Any answer? I know Coley gave me an answer for that. Did any other person give me an answer for that? Okay, Coley said you mean this sounds like Chinese. Yeah, since they have the lowest percentage turnout of all the states. Oh, beautiful. So basically we're going to just sort from smallest to largest. Then we see the lowest. And yeah, it is not booming. Coley, my best bet is that you got things mixed up in the calculated fields. Yeah, that's why have this. So we can, if we say we want to take the top 5 states. Okay, Femi, tell me.
Sorry, I'm having some challenges with these calculated fields.
Sorry about that.
My my values seems not to be. It's giving me after I put the age in the different ranges, the sum of the voter turnout. The calculated field there is not giving me the grand total is not giving me a summation of 100. So I don't know if I'm wrong or something. Is there any challenge with that? The
Mm.
grand total
The grand total
after
of
the
what?
65, the grand total as the on the column of the
Yeah,
sum of the voter turnout. It's not giving me 100.
okay. Yeah, I
Am
mean,
I am I am I still in line?
what is it giving you?
0.866 kind of.
It's yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be 100. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
0.868. Yeah, put it in percentage and you should have 86.8.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the grand total. So
Okay. Okay.
for
Just
percentage,
want
it
to be
should be
sure.
the average.
I think.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so for this politician to target the 18 to 24 um, age range, what they need to do, what he needs to do is yeah. So for us to get that, of course, that would be the lowest number of people, and you sort from the smallest to the largest. You could, if you want to target those, maybe let's say low turnout are those below. What should we use? We just choose an average, right? We just choose something that is low. Maybe we say anything below 70 is low. So we could come to states and do a filter, right? As a matter of fact, I would like someone to guide me on this. Who would volunteer? So we want a filter to to factor in those that are below 70. So the states that the voter turnout are below 70 for this age range 18 to 24. I want someone to guide me on what to do. So raise a hand, you speak, and yeah, you tell me what to do. Sharp, 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 sharp. Who volunteer? Else I'll call names. Okay, where are the names here? Okay, Sean will tell me what to do. Oluwa Sean. Hello? Did you get the question? Don't be scared of giving the right
No, please
answer.
come again.
Okay, so we want a filter. We want to get the top. We want to get the states where the voter turnout is. Voter turnout is for the age range 18 to 24 is below 70. So I want to put a filter here. So tell me what to do, please. But, but before you tell me, let me hear. Someone's hand is up. Just okay. Why you think through it? Um,
Okay.
yeah, yes.
I think what you do is you right
Okay.
click on the space,
On the
then you now
states.
go to yeah, you right click on it,
Okay.
then you go to I'm coming to because I'm doing it here as well. So you right
Okay.
click, then you go to I'm sorry, I'm coming to
Sure, sure, sure. Take your
so
time.
right click, then you go to filter. Under the
Okay.
filter, you click on value filter,
Okay.
then you click on the value. Yes, then you come to the sum of the turnout. Then you see another. There is one box beside the sum of something. Then you click on it. That
Just
you
no,
now
no, no, no,
click
no,
on
no. Sorry, hold on.
less than.
Sorry, I'm confused. You said okay, so I've clicked
Okay.
on the value field. Then I should do what again?
Yes, you see one box beside some of the voters turnout. You see
Okay,
equal, so you click on that box, then you see is less than. I think we are looking for the this thing that is less than
70%.
something.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
yes. Click on the is less than.
Is less
Then
than
you now come
okay.
to the next box. Then
The next was okay.
type 70. Then
I should
70.
type what?
Okay, 70.
I should type 70 or
70. I think
70%. Which one?
70%.
Okay. Do I type the percent like PERCENT? Or I
No,
should use
just
the
the
symbol?
symbol.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Then click OK. So
Okay.
to give you the answer.
Okay. I
All
wish I
right.
could tell everybody to unmute and clap for you, and then we are clapping for
Sorry,
you
please.
in our silence.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank
Great job. Great job. Yeah. Yeah. This is good. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the these are those below 70%, the states below 70% that need a touch, that the politician should be able to, I mean, should attend to. Yeah, if you want to improve the 18 to 24 age range voter turnout. Okay, so that is it. Any questions? Yes, okay, Namdi, tell me. Namdi, your hand is up. Is that a mistake or you have?
Sorry, this one on mute. My mic was on mute before. I said
Oh.
that question on. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I said that question is if a politician. I need to see it well because I didn't understand.
Okay, forgive me.
Okay. He said that if as a politician
Seeking to
seeking to
improve
improve
voter
voters
turnout
turnout.
rates
Okay.
among young adults between 18 to 24. Which
Uh,
particular states would you target first?
okay.
So it's
Okay.
states, yeah, so it's a
Uh,
plural. If it
okay.
was just one state, we'll just go for the lowest.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Okay. Sir.
states, it was just an assumption that any one below 70%, any voter turnout below 70% should be targeted first. That's why we factored in 70% in creating the filter.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, any more questions? These are all the questions, and these are all that. Any more questions? So, we see how we can derive insights from data, and we did all this with pivot table. So, you see how powerful the pivot table tool is, and of course, if you want to go further to visualize your data, you go into charts, and when it comes to presentations and sharing your data, and yeah, to take, I mean, sharing your data for easier comprehension, and then you act on it. Okay, so that's that on the US voters data set. So next we look into the San Francisco salaries. Yes, I'm sure we all have these data sets. San Francisco salaries. Okay. Um, Hit and such pivots to show five employees with end highest base pay in President. Okay, these are really easy questions. Like my students have passed this level right now, but let's look at them. Oops, sorry. I think I just posted these questions. So here we have four questions. Well, with children. So I'll just put them here and oops, no, going to wrap. Okay. Very bear with me while I put the questions together so that so I think question one is I need to put this in bold. The most straightforward. So the first question says filter and sort the pivot to show the 5 employees who earned the highest base pay in 2021. Who were they? Oh, this is beautiful. Then question two says add a calculated field named percentage order pay, which is equal to order pay over total pay, formatted as a percentage with one decimal place. How many job titles earned only order pay in 2012? Amongst employees with greater or equal to 100K dollars base pay in 2012, did any employee earn more than 50% of their salaries from other pay? If so, who? Question 4. Clear all filters and pull in job category and job titles as row labels. Titles sorted, sort the titles alphabetically. Then group any title including word curator into a new okay we can look at this together. I'm not sure we've really talked much on grouping or we've looked into grouping. So questions 1, 2, and 3. You have your data sets, the US, the San Francisco salaries. So 1, 2, 3 is our targets. Yeah. So I think I'll just even take this off because to be how many employees had. Anyway, let's just start. So any answers yet? Hope we understand the questions too. Yeah. Focus question 1, 2, 3. I think I'll just hide question 4 so that yeah. So as you solve one, you drop the answer. Um, ah, ah. Daniel Mary is not joking. He didn't come to play. I love that. For question one, filter and sort the pivot to show the employees who earn the highest base pay. Okay, so those are top 5 employees. Okay, okay, okay. Those were the okay, easy stuff, right? Okay. Ah, I will even added grand total. Oh shit, this makes sense. Okay, let's jump to number two. Let's see what we've got. Oh, yes, the question. Here it is. Sorry, you can see. Let me zoom in further. That's silence is deafening. Why are there no answers yet? The question says how many job titles and only other pay? how many job titles earned only other pay? That means they didn't earn overtime pay, they didn't earn base pay, they only earned other pay. So how many job titles were those? Right? So this is like two questions in one. Looking at this, I didn't look at it earlier. Sorry. Um, if I insert, I could call this 2A and this 2B. So is the silence? I'll give 2 more minutes and then we'll look at it together. I don't know. Is it tasking? And of course, when it comes to analyzing data, it is important to look into your data set very well. Try to understand the question so that you give the right answers. So forgive the rush, really. So 49, 4.9%. What's that answering, please? Okay, add the calculated field. Percentage of order 4.9%. Okay, that could be an answer. I'll take that as 2A. Maybe your calculation is an order pay to total pay percentage when there is nothing on the row. That makes sense. So 2B, 2B. I need answers, please. Wow, okay. This one seems strong. So let's do it together. So the first is filter and sort the pivot table to show 5 employees who earned the highest base pay in 20 in 2011. Who were they? Okay, so I'm sure that was a simple one. So for this, I insert a pivot table. Click on OK. Let me move it to the end and call this Sun salary pivot. Okay, so we're looking at the employees that earn the highest base pay in 2011. So I'll put employee name in the row. I'll put base pay in values, and I'll put year in filters, and I'll filter for 2011. Let me put this in dollars, number format, currency, dollars, so it gives me values for everything. Anyway, so I sort from largest to highest, from largest to smallest, and I could easily count the top 5 or use a filter. What did I just do? Use a filter, right click and filter. I click on top 10. So top 5, I reduce this to 5. Top 5 based on sum of base pay. And I click on OK. So it gives me a filter. Yeah. So it gives me a filter for the top 5 guys based on their pay, their base pay. Okay, so who and who got it right? Oh, very many answers. So Daniel Mary got it right. Awesome. Kenny, yes. Taiwo, yes. Yes. Um, Namdi, why is your answer scrambled? Yeah, I think, yeah, the sorting, I wouldn't even, they're the same names, but you answered them randomly. But okay. Um, Mr. James, looking again. Okay, Femi. Okay, so that was question 1, right? I hope we understood how we got this. We all got this. So we're looking at base pay, top 5 people with the highest base pay. Okay. So the second one, add a calculated field name named order pay, order order pay over total pay, named percentage order pay over yeah, and order pay over total pay formatted as a percentage with 1 decimal place. Huh. Kenny, that's your 4,000% answer is scary. He's looking again. So I'm going to take off the year. Maybe take off the formula from, maybe remove the filter here. Clear filter for employee names. Should be a lot of data. Oops, I'll just remove that. Just remove everything. So I'll go to I'll go to pivot analyze. Okay, go to calculated field, and the tax is to percentage order pay, right? Yeah, it's a calculated field, and we're told to do order pay over. Ooh, sorry, I need to see this. Order pay over total pay. Wow, so we need to find total pay first. All right, so I don't think there is a column for total pay. No, there is no total column for total pay. So, um, what we need to do is to, first of all, and this is interesting. First of all, we need to add a calculated field for total pay. So, add, just insert. Either we do it that way or we just add everything to one. But I think it's best we do that. So our first calculated field will be total pay. Total pay. And then what formula would that be? It's going to be base pay insert plus overtime pay insert plus other pay insert. And okay. And that will give us our total pay. Okay. Um, Next, we do another calculated field for the problem we're trying to solve now. And we'll call it the percentage order pay. Yeah, of course. Order pay is supposed to be like of the total percentage, what is that? So order pay insert over total pay. So we now have total pay now calculated amongst our parameters. So over total pay. And okay, there we have it. It's in dollars. No, we don't want it in dollars. We want it in percentage. So we change the format to percentage and in one decimal place. There we have it. Oh, that's what Mary was saying. So there we have it. Okay, I didn't call this properly. I'll just go back to my fields, calculated fields, and scroll down to percentage order pay, and I'm changing this to order pay. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Just take this off. One decimal place 5.0. Okay. Yes. So there was no total pay. Yes, sometimes there wouldn't be, you wouldn't get everything. But looking at this, we have base pay, overtime pay, and other pay. Manually, one could choose to create a colon here, right? For total pay and maybe do a sum. some of this, right? And then just maybe drag it down. That's, and then you create your pivot. You can maybe, if you had already created a pivot, yeah, so if you've created a pivot and then there is another field added, oh, so much to show. There's another field added, you could go under pivot table, analyze, and go to change data source. Change data source. And if you notice, it's just covering for G, it's not covering for H. But from here, you can change this G here to H, and it extends to H, and you click on OK. When you click on OK, you refresh, and this would pop up on your pivot table as part of the fields. But I have a total pay. But another way is through calculated fields, so you don't need to do that. Yeah. So anyway, back to the question. Add a calculated field of order pay, or called percentage order pay, which is order pay over total pay. Yeah, so the trick here was that one had to create total pay either manually or using the calculated fields, ideally the calculated fields to do the job. Now format to 1%, and that is what I have done here. I could remove some of this and 5%. So I'm guessing Mary somehow did that. Which was smart. Who else attempted this in whichever way, manually or that's by adding it to the main data sets? Oh yeah. Okay, so we've done that for that now. Okay, Femi, yes, talk to me.
Yeah, please. How did you add that column H again? Can you just go through that for me?
Column H.
Yeah,
How did I add it to the pivot table? Or how
the
did I add
pivot
it here?
to the pivot table. To the pivot table.
Okay, I think I'll just sure. I think I'll just dig this in. So please let's all be attentive to this now. Um, so I created this other column, right? When we already had a pivot. Now, if you add another column, there are two ways we can do this. Now, we could convert our data sets. Most times it's ideal that when you're working with data, when you have a data set like this, you convert it to a table. Here, they're just data entries. And when you want to work with pivot, you convert it to a table, and that's simple. You click on anywhere in the column, go to insert, just like you want to click on pivot table, but then you see table. So there's pivot table, recommended pivot tables, and then you see table. So you just click on table, and a pop-up box comes up. The box pops up. My table has a header, yes. Then it highlights the range of your table, and you click on OK. If you notice, this changes, right? Everything changes, and it's more like, so this is a table in Excel. Now, if you create your pivot table, from here, so after this, you can now go to insert and pivot table. If you create your pivot table from a table, whenever updates are made to that table, once you come to your pivot table and just refresh, it is going to automatically update. Okay. Yeah. So it's ideal that if you have data that you'll be updating, just put it in a table first, go to insert and pivot table. Right. I just want to point that out. So, okay, let me just give a typical example. If I want to put something like average salary now, average salary or average pay rather, like another column. Once I click on enter, if you notice, this all highlights. So it's part of that table, and I think I should show rather than talk. Okay, so let me just create another pivot. Okay, Taiwo, you have a question?
So good evening, Jesam.
Yeah, have fun.
So you used base pay plus other pay. Why didn't you use overtime pay? Why didn't you add that?
I used base
Get the
pay.
total pay.
No, no, come again. I used that
I
in the
think you used
calculated
just
fields.
base pay plus yes, you used just base pay and then other pay, but you
When I
didn't
was
use overtime pay.
when I was calculating
You
the
didn't use
total
it.
field,
Yes.
I think I did. If I didn't, it would have been an error. So I'll just check the formula. Sorry, I'll come back, guys. This other one. I'll just check the formula I used for other pay. For total pay. Base pay plus overtime pay plus other pay. That's what I used. Okay, Taiwo?
Okay, Jesam.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. So back to this. So like I said, always insert a table. So I'm going to show us three ways to do this now, and then we'll go back to our assignments, so our classwork. And let me just go take this back to the control Y. Oh my goodness. I think I'm just okay, yes. So this was the original data set, right? And I'll just insert my pivot table and okay, bring this out. And maybe I put, yeah, employee name and base pay. Base pay, sum of base pay. Okay, I'll just put this in dollars. Okay. Um, yeah, so this is all linked. So I know we have the total pay here already. Yeah, from the calculated fields already put. But yeah. So I realized, oh, I need to add calculated fields here. I feel like I want to do this in a different sheet so that it's not going to be confusing. Move or copy, create new workbook. Okay, this is it. I insert a pivot table without adding a table. And okay, let's say employee name, base pay. Sort from largest. So let me put this in currency. Okay, and then we are told to add a, I mean to do that percentage of other pay, which is total. Okay, so we want to get a total of, we're supposed to have a total pay. We're supposed to work with total pay. And we don't have this here already, right? If I add a column for total pay on this sheet, I put a sum of base pay over time and total pay. Hit the enter button and come here. Yeah, I could choose to format all this to dollars. Okay. Once I come to the pivots, it's not going to be here. To add that other that order pay column, the new column I've added to the sheet, I will come here. You know, when we created the pivot, it took the range from column A to column G. That was the existing data, right? So I come to the pivot, I go to pivot analyze, and you see an option under data, change data source. I select the change data source, and it takes me to the range it is currently. So we have A, B, C, D to G. Now, if we look at that table range, we look at that formula, we see, and we look at, well, it's an absolute, it's a lock on A to G. And my new data set I added is in column H. So I'll just carefully change that G to H. And I click on OK so that it captures in the new data set. And if we look here, we now see total pay is here. Okay. So that's how we add data. Yes, for me.
Please come again from that data tab.
So you go to change data source. Under pivot table analyze, you go to change data source. Change data source. You click on it. And then before it was on column G, right? It was on a range. If you're doing it yourself, you'd see it was on range A to G. But your new cell, your new added data is on column H. So you just change that G to H. So it captures the column A to H as against A to G that was the previous data set. And you click on OK. So let's say you added a new row, right? Or a new set of rows here. Now, yeah, so if you added more rows, here the data captured initially up to, so we see the row and the column and the row number here. So the data captured, your pivot captured up to 24, row 24 to 86. That is here, row 24 to 86. So if you add another data, if you add other data sets to here, maybe up to this, you now tell it to capture from, you now change the row from what is there currently to the new, to the last new row, to the range you wanted to capture. So maybe it was also 24 to 94. You change it from 24 to 86 to 24 to 94, and you click on OK. It's going to capture the new added range. Then you can do your refresh. Okay, so here we could, so if this was the case, we could easily do a calculated fields from here. Go to pivot analyze, pivot and fields, calculated fields, and do a percentage order pay, and we come and we do, of course, total pay, set over order pay over total pay, and we'll get our values. Of course, it's just tapping, since it's figures we're doing, we format our number to percentage, and maybe one decimal place, and that changes. Okay. So I hope that's yeah, so that's on the case. This is for the case where you add another column to your data set that is not originally in a table. Okay, so what if our data set was in a table? I'll show you what would happen. See, yeah, okay, So here I get these data sets, and the first thing I do is, oh, okay, Femi, what do you want from my life?
Please,
Mm,
my own calculated field is not working.
sorry,
That's after I've included the total pay,
why is it not
the
working?
and I've imputed the fields and done the formula the way it's supposed to be. It's not just showing anything.
Maybe there's nothing to show.
Really?
Oh, okay, so we'll look at that for me. Let me
Okay.
just go through this so that we'll just get back to that. Okay. Okay. So if you get everybody, if you get data sets like with just like this, so it's advisable, especially if you're gonna add more columns to it. Ideally, first thing you do is click on anywhere, just like you're creating a pivot table. Go to Insert, and before you click on Pivot Table, just go to Table and click on Table, Insert Table, and you would see a box come up. My table has a header. Does your table have a header? Yes. And it selects the range. Just click on OK. The whole stuff changes, and yeah, what not what? Yeah. By the way, you could like put your stuff anyhow you want to put them. So this is a table. Now, after you do that, you could go to Insert and Pivot Table, and you click on OK. So let me just try out the same this thing. I put the employee name and I put their base pay. Okay. And yes, oh, I need to work with the total sum. I go back to my main data set and yes, put a colon for total, rather total pay. Yeah. Now the beauty of tables, working with tables also is that you don't even need to you don't need to it has this flash fill where you do a calculation on one column and it's just some stuff. Let's look at it. So I do an equal to sum of base pay, overtime, and others, and I click on enter, and it just calculates everything for me. That's beautiful. So I don't need to like drag it and whatnot. Yeah. So I've created this column now. I go to my pivot table, and all I just need to do is refresh. Right click on the pivot and click on refresh, and total pay comes up. There we have it. So starting by converting your data to tables makes a lot of sense and saves you a lot of, especially when you have repeated data. So if I add another column to the end here, let me just call this 2027 and maybe just repeat this data. And I come here and maybe let me just put this in here. Yes. So the current years 2011, 2012. Once I come and I refresh the pivots, the new data updates stress-free. So it's good practice to convert your data sets to a table before you work with it. Okay, so Femi, this may be where you would want to take a second look at the calculated fields so that you can see. So what to create a calculated field for we create a calculated field for order pay, percentage order pay. I go to pivot table analyze and fields items, go to calculated field, and I put the name here as percentage order pay, and the formula is order pay in sets over total pay in sets. and I click on OK. And here it gives me this. It's actually taking, yeah, most times they do that pivot tables. It's taking the formats of the previous, so I'll just change it to percentage. I mean, I could just oops, click on percentage here and it does that. So 1 decimal place large. There we have it. So Femi, I think you should just try this out again and hopefully that works for you in case you notice where you missed your steps. Okay, any questions? Let's see how we can answer at least up to question 3. Silence means we are good. Okay. Yeah. So the question was, add the calculated field for percentage order total, that is order pay over total pay, formatted to 1 decimal point. This, I'm sure so it's 1 decimal place 5.0. I'm sure we know how to do this now. Okay. So now the next question was, how many job titles and only order pay in 2012? This is actually a very simple question, like how many job titles and only order pay. Truth of the matter is that you just need to put a filter. Okay, put job titles in the row, rather, and then just put a filter. Oh, no, 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 it's not even a filter. What am I saying? Yeah. So, oh, okay. If I think we could just put the 3, the base pay, the overtime pay, and the others. Yeah. So I put the job title in the colon. I put the job title in the row rather. I put the overtime pay in this and this. Yeah, so let's see what we can do here. Yeah, there's so many job titles here. The question is, which job titles end only order pay? Yeah, in all of them. That means base pay 0, overtime pay 0, order pay value. That's what we want to see. We have zeros. Okay, there is a value here, so we're going to take this off. So this has a 0, so C minus, I'll take this out. So from here we can see that we have 8 job titles. Oops. We have 8 job titles if we count this. 8 that didn't earn a base pay, didn't earn an overtime pay, and only other pay, as was the question. Add a calculated field. Okay, percentage. Okay, how many job titles and oh, I'm sorry, this is for 2012. What am I doing? So for just 2012, we have to put a year filter, and select for 2012, for just 2012, and there we have it. So we had eight, oh, it's still eight, but yeah, so the filter 2012 had eight that did not receive base pay, did not receive overtime pay, but received other pay in 2012. How many job titles earned only other pay in 2012? So that's it. Okay. Are we clear on that? Please. I'll take the silence for a yes, as always. So it's 9:02. It's past our time. So I'm going to move question 3 and add it to the assessments, the final assessment for the class, for the cohorts. So by Tuesday latest, there will be some end of cohort assessments where we would use that as part of the cumulative. It will comprise of everything we've studied so far and from the onset, and it would be nice to attempt them. Okay, I would like to take questions, please. Yes, Femi, tell me.
Sorry, please, can you just snap this exercise, that one that just you just took off the screen now, so that maybe if you can have it on your group so that we can still use it to work on this.
Okay, I'll just post it
particular-
on the group right now. Um, okay, done. It's on the group. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we may not have a a virtual session again for this cohort. It's been a good time. You could always feel free to reach out if you need to. I think after now we'll just further with those who complete the sessions and complete the assessments and everything, and yeah, based on performance, attendance, and participation overall, there will be an invite sent to those who are interested in being part of the intermediate to advanced state level, and yeah, we'll take it on from there and see. They would look deeper into spreadsheets, advanced would things like Power Query, um, yeah, more deeper case studies. We look into more case studies and how to go around them. We would get in depth on dashboards and all that. But I must commend everyone who has been consistent so far. I feel like another thing one will be sharing are links where you can further your learnings online. Yes, there are a lot of platforms where they teach this. There'll be guides to how to get free courses, free learnings on Excel, data analytics, and all. Apply for financial aid, where you can take courses, get certifications without paying, or either paying little or not paying at all. You just need to be committed to it. Certifications that can boost your CVs and of course enhance your knowledge. Yeah, the whole aim of this session was to um, at the very least introduce you to um, data analysis with Excel, and yes, get you to some comfortable level where you could, based on your needs, on your purposes for joining. If I could open that sheet. Um, yeah, based on these purposes, it's the aim was to make you confident enough to, if you wanted to change your role, apply for jobs and all that. For it, take this pivot and so just to point at what a number of us, a number of people. Sorry, last days are usually longer than the others, so bear with me. Let me take some few extra seconds of your time. Let's, yeah. Um, Maybe white should do now. Oops, did I just do? 1 second, please. Okay, yeah. So if we go back to the purpose for joining, yeah, why people joined. We had people who joined. Yeah, okay. So we had people who joined, 41% of people who signed up were to apply data analytics skills to their current roles. We hope, I mean, you could go try this out right now, and hopefully, I hope you should be able to do this by now. Um, try it with if you have some data you work with in your company, try it out and see how that meets up. We have people who, the next percentage, 25% of people wanted to transition or want to transition rather into data analytics roles. With this, you're learning so far, I I I dare you to update your CVs and start applying for go out there, look for jobs. Of course, augment your studies, study further and all, but do not be afraid to try stuff out. At some point, I'll just apply for jobs and go for interviews just to know what they are looking out for right now. And trust me, what you've learned in the past couple of months are top-notch stuff in demand. As simple as it may seem, it is it's good insight and a good way to learn is to learn on the job. So don't think you're going to learn like everything holistically outside and then go to job. So learning on the go is some good stuff. So 86% of people wanted to see if data analytics was a good fit for them. Yeah, I was talking to one of the participants one day asking about another enrollee. I'm like, hey, I've not seen this guy. What happened? And it ended in laughter. Oh, apparently he just saw it too deep for him and he took a bow. Well, perhaps it's not a good fit for him. No issues. Um, in taking this course, in taking this training, it was. I mean, if we also look at another data from the dashboard, we would see that 82% of participants had no prior experience in data analytics. So that was also factored in the training. Okay. Yeah, even though, like I said, these things are progressive, we have to be real and yeah, and yeah, increasing it was a beginner to intermediate session, so increasing difficulty. But of course, as you practice, it becomes piece of cake for you. Yeah, so I'm sure at this point you could tell if data analytics is a good fit for you. For knowledge improvement, I am sure A lot of us have learned a few new things, or a lot, seeking new challenges and transitioning to data roles. Yeah. So yeah, I hope for transition into data analytics roles. Okay, that's the same here. So I could just add this up here. So ladies and gentlemen, I I hope you have learned a few things or more. Um, Subsequently, I feel like for those, particularly for those who would want to further on the learnings, um, there will be links shared on where you can have, if necessary, there could be a special session, maybe one other session that one could have where it would show you different websites. There are websites like Coursera, Udemy, and all that. Um, my personal favorite is Coursera, where you can learn a whole lot of stuff, right? They offer financial aid for some of their courses where you could learn. Recognized, um, you have top companies, top institutions like on this platform, and you can learn new skills there. You could learn a whole lot. From there, I'll just quickly go to Coursera for the sake of those who haven't seen that. Coursera.org. Um, Learn without limits. If you look at their course catalog, and you have so there are a whole lot of courses here. If you want to learn, you could get confused. I recommend taking a course a course at a time. This is a Google Data Analytics professional certificate that you could take constantly. It, you could always check out for the level. So this is a beginner level, and anybody can take this course, right? And you have this course, you have in your CV a data analytics professional certificate from Google. It's big stuff. Yes, it helps in marketability, right? There are others. There is that from IBM and so on. If you want to further learning on Excel, Microsoft Excel, there are a lot that one could recommend. A personal favorite is one from I do not pronounce Macquarie University. There is data skills for business specialization. Yeah, so you could take the courses here, and when you finish, there is another one for um, data analysis. So there is a whole lot of no knowledge is wasted, but you need to know that there needs to be constant learning, constant learning, constant learning. Learning never ends. If I, I mean, if we go back to the first class, if you go back to the first class, you'd see that we did we looked at some other tools. So beyond Excel, I focus on Excel and Google Sheets because it's a good place to start and you have these tools available to you. As you further on in your practice, you could explore other tools. Power BI. Power BI is something we're going to touch in subsequent classes for those who would want to go further advanced. There is R programming, Python, there is SQL. SQL is a language for database interaction, and all that. There is Tableau for data visualization. So it doesn't end here, right? Just keep learning, keep practicing. Um, Go online and search for all data sets. You could build your portfolio and all that. So once you start taking these courses online and everything, try out new subs, do some research, you would find out that you'll find more learnings in all this. I wish I could teach you everything, but I can't teach you everything. I don't even know everything. Like, so I keep learning. Like after this session, I'm going to jump and do a refresher on how to put multiple filters in pivot tables, right? I mean, yeah, I'll probably cut that part out of the uh, video or not. I mean, whatever, right? And also, thank you, everybody. It's been fun having you around. I didn't think we're going to go this far and take this long, but it's been a beautiful time and all that. So just as a reminder, by Tuesday you'd have latest, you'd have the assessment, which you'd have at least 1 week or about a week to hand in. That could give you a hint of how strong I intend it to be. Not so strong anyway, yeah. So my people, take care. All the best. I wish you all the best in all your endeavors. Be good. And feel free to reach out at any point, please. I am available to help.